Metta World Peace, Laker forward, NBA champ 2010, Defensive Player of the Year. So, okay, so you had a little DeMarcus Cousins. There were people that said, hey,
yeah,
Ron Artest, man, you don't want to play with Ron.
Yeah.
But then you would go to team. So do you like DeMarcus Cousins?
I like DeMarcus. I like his talent. I think he's passionate. And with DeMarcus, you got to be able to, play with a guy like that. You got to be able to, rub him the wrong way. You got to be like, hey, DeMarcus, you're wrong today. You need to not get technical. You need to, sit on the bench. You need to come out the game and give your teammates a 5, and you need to, get it straight.
So confront him.
You have to confront him directly. And if he doesn't like it, so be it. And that's how you deal with players like DeMarcus.
Okay, so who confronted you?
Well, I had, when I was 19, I had Charles Oakley. That was, really good for me. And Jermaine O'Neal, at times, he was only 1 year older than me, but at times Jermaine would confront me. Rick Carlisle was very direct, so I kind of learned along the way that, okay, these guys only want the best for me.
But you and DeMarcus come into this league.
Right.
And there's already, then all of a sudden there's a sense that talented guy,
right,
but I'm not sure how they'll work with others. Yet at the end, you did shift. Your last 4 to 5 years in this league, players liked you, coaches like you. You almost became a mentor to younger players.
Right.
So when did it shift? Did it shift when you finally had your money? Did it shift when you finally had a title? What shifted it for you?
Well, for me, I couldn't deal with losing. So every problem I ever had in the NBA came from losses. Like when I was in the garden and I threw the camera on the floor and the TV monitor. We lost that game. When I was in Indiana, I would sometimes go in the locker room upset, maybe throw a picture on the floor.
Right.
We lost that game, so I couldn't deal with losing. It brought the worst out of me. And losing should bring the best out of you. It should push you more to become better.
Yeah.
And with DeMarcus, he's losing, so it's showing that he hates losing, but it's also showing that he got to build his character a little bit.
All right, DeMarcus now can actually shoot a 3.
He's so good.
Yeah, no, he's no. There's. I think he and Anthony Davis are the 2 best Kentucky players easily the NBA's ever had. John Wall's probably 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing though. When I look at DeMarcus, you can blame Sacramento for it, but there are players that are harder to coach. Okay, let's again go back to you.
Right.
It took a certain kind of guy to coach you, right?
It did. I learned along the way. Carlisle was great, but at that time I was still so unstable. So as great as he was for me, I wasn't able to accept that greatness in Carlisle. When I got with Rick Adelman, I was in a point where, okay, I got to change my, the path of my career.
So you owned your stuff.
I did, and Rick Adelman helped me out a lot with that. Taught me how to be a really good team player. With DeMarcus, if I was his coach, I would sit him on the bench. And then, fans would say, hey, what are you doing sitting our best player? But I would just sit him on the bench, and I would just sit him until he gets straight. With certain games, not every game, but certain games I would have just sit him on the bench. Just keep it real simple.
By the way, he's losing $30 million in this deal because the way Sacramento got rid of him, it's a weird story.
Right.
That he's going to lose like $30 million. So he may be coming to New Orleans.
Right.
With an attitude to begin with, right? Like when you're
no, not necessarily.
Okay,
you never know what he's going through. Well, the thing is this: 170 million, 200 million, same thing, right? It's not much difference. But with him, maybe he's saying, okay, I'm a great basketball player, but I need to change my attitude. So maybe he's looking at it from a positive, point of view. I hope he is looking at it that way.
So the All-Star Game's interesting. I've compared it to professional wrestling, an Adam Sandler movie, or video games.
Right.
It's mindless entertainment. But
Sucks.
Okay, but I'll say this is it's not for me. Okay, but I'm not. If young kids like it, I'm fine. There is a star-studded, but I don't like the fact that nobody competes.
Right.
Now you were a guy that was almost to a fault competitive. So when you watch it, what do you see?
I mean, I feel like as a fan of these players, I want to see them play hard. I want to see what Anthony Davis is going to do against LeBron in the post when LeBron's trying to stop him, and then then Anthony's passing to Westbrook, and then somebody's closing out to Westbrook. I want to see how these guys play in a competitive atmosphere and see how good they really are.
There is no competition with this. It's a shooting contest.
So for me, it's kind of like I want to see Anthony Davis trying to get on the fast break, and then LeBron runs down and stops him, and that's what I want to see.
We live in Los Angeles, and we're not far from Hollywood.
Right.
Every single Hollywood movie has one thing: conflict.
Okay.
Even Harry Potter movies, they try to create like a villain. The problem with the NBA All-Star Game, there's no conflict.
Right.
It's like 10 good buddies at the Y.
Right.
And they're all going out to have lunch later, and nobody wants to get like elbowed in the chops.
Right.
So to me, my problem with the All-Star Game is there's no conflict. Like everybody, like NBA fans always say, they love the NBA in the 90s when guys fought.
Yeah.
And they complain about the NBA now because everybody's buddies.
Right.
This is like that 2.0. It's just a bunch of high five and kind of yuck.
But it's 24 players, right? 24 players make the team. So we need a couple of those players to say, okay, I don't care if I cut off, let's say, DeRozan, and he gets mad at me for playing too hard. We need some of these players to step up and compete, and don't worry about the superstars maybe getting upset because you're playing too hard. We need somebody to just step it up. And, hopefully next year, these all-stars have no friends in that game. Just go out there, compete, show us a good time. Because I enjoy watching. I really am a fan, of this year's and this day and age NBA players.
So I've said this about Kentucky, and all their fans are whining. I've said, listen, nobody disputes the talent. And Calipari is just a machine.
Right. He's great.
But in the history, 1903 to now, there's not a lot of titles.
How many?
Rondo's got one.
Oh, Rondo
I think
has
Tayshaun
one.
Prince has one.
Okay.
Their best players are like Dan Issel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
so I said, I'm like, of all the great all-time programs, they don't have an all-time great player.
Right. I think to be an all-time great, you got to be an all-time great teammate. And now when you go to Kentucky, you go there to be one and done. So it's not their fault. Calipari has a system where if you're a great high school player, you want to go to the NBA, come to my program, most likely you're going to go, to the NBA. So when you have that mindset, you're already going into it as an individual player.
Oh, totally.
You see what I'm saying? So it's not that they're bad people, but
I
their
think
individual mindset.
See, that's what's very, very good point by you.
Yeah.
Is that the kid that goes to Kentucky sees the basketball world differently than the kid that goes to Duke.
Or to UNC.
They think differently. They already got this, I want to make money, I want to be a pro player. So you get more ego. You get more of a glamour player at Kentucky.
More entitled.
A little bit more entitled.
Yep.
Guy's been an AAU star.
Right.
Wants to go almost use the sport as it uses him, and he moves on. And to Calipari's credit, his guys play defense.
His guys are great.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm not banging on Calipari. Calipari. But look at your all-time St. John's team. If I put the all-time St. John's team, let's put it up here. Chris Mullin, Metta World Peace, Mark Jackson, Walter Berry, Bill Wennington, 3 titles. I could put the UCLA all-time team up here. If you put the UCLA team, that's Jabbar. That is Walton. That is Reggie Miller. That's
classic.
Okay, you put in so look at this. Here's the all-time NBA team for UCLA. 9 titles. Jabbar, Walton, Westbrook, Kevin Love, Reggie Miller. By the way, I'm not counting Kiki Vandeweghe. Gail Goodrich for the Lakers. Sidney Wicks. Now let's go to the all-time North Carolina team. So this is the all-time North Carolina team. Jordan, Worthy. Vince Carter's an 8-time All-Star. 12 NBA titles. Let's go to the all-time Kentucky team in the NBA. This is what I'm saying about Kentucky. This is the best players and no titles. Yeah, I got none.
Like I said, I think, the mindset, and I think it's on the players to say, okay, I know I want to get to the NBA, but you're on a team of 14 other players. So you got to go into that mindset, with I'm just like the other guys. It's not about me. It's not about me.
Okay, by the way, LeBron doesn't play in the dunk contest. Skip Bayless is bothered by that.
Right.
I'm not bothered at all because everybody always says LeBron's not a leader. And the opposite of a leader is a follower.
Okay.
And everybody else does the dunk contest. And LeBron's like, I'm not going to do the dunk contest. I'm going to be a leader and not do what everybody else does. How's it sit with you?
I'm pretty pissed as a basketball fan that LeBron's never been in a dunk contest.
Why?
I need to see him in a dunk contest.
Why? Oh, you. So we got to take care
personally.
So now it's all about you.
He's such an entertainer.
So now
he's so powerful. Like, I want to see him in a dunk contest with no props. I hate the props. They need to get rid of the props.
Jumping over DJ Khaled rhymes with salad.
Great, right? But just get rid of the props. Just have a guy throw the ball to himself.
So you're mad at LeBron.
Yeah.
Metta.
Absolutely.
You're mad at him because he's so great.
He's so great.
You think you deserve LeBron.
I deserve to see LeBron I deserve to be in my living room on my couch with an apple watching LeBron dunk contest.
The computer or the fruit? All right, Metta World. Hey, it's great seeing you.
It's great being here.
Met your son today?
Yeah.
One of your sons.
One of my sons, yep.
Pretty good baller?
He's good. They both play at Beverly, and he's going on some college visits.
Oh, he is?
To ASU, Portland, Nevada, and I think Northridge, so that's great. He's just started getting recruited this year, late bloomer. And then my other son, he says that he wants to go to Stanford, so we'll see how that works out. But it's great. I'm proud of him.